Testing the audio. I think we are good to go on the audio. Sweet. Testing the audio. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So I had my audio is all jacked up, so I had to come back on. So there's going to be two videos to this. Um, and again, if you want to know more, just watch the first video day one or the first video of today. It's going to be two videos in place. Apparently, my audio is all messed up. So okay, sweet. Done. All right, cool. All right, so we should be back on live. Let's see. I think the audio should be working. Let me check real quick. Okay. Testing the audio.
Testing the audio.
Yep, that works. Okay, cool. All right, we're back, guys. So again, I titled this video "How I Made $100,000 on Wholesaling Commercial Real Estate." Essentially, last or into January, we closed on a deal where I made $100,000 on one transaction, wholesaling a mobile home park. And how I did that and how I'm able to do that is exactly what I'm doing here right now, which is and sharing with you live. And essentially, I'm deal sourcing off market. Commercial real estate, and more specifically mobile home parks right now is the asset class I've been dialing in on, just because there's a lot of activity around it. And I'm finding those properties direct to seller, off market, and working on deals with sellers where obviously offering cash and quicker closes. And so what that's doing is that's opening them up to more aggressive pricing. And so I'm able to knock down price quite a bit by doing that, and then rolling that deal onto an buyer or investor for an investment group, an individual, or whatever the situation might be. And then I take a fee, I wholesale the deal. I take an assignment fee on that because I'm assigning that contract to an end buyer. And so one of the last deals I did, we made $100,000 on it in January. I also made another deal that month made $50,000. So in January in total fees, we made $150,000. And the reason I'm sharing that with you guys is because what I did to do that, I'm literally doing right now in this 90-day challenge is I'm cold calling off market opportunities. I'm trying to get my hands on that deal before a broker or another buyer does, so then I can get control of that asset. I find the deal, I underwrite that deal, and then if we like it enough, we might buy it ourselves. So we do have the intent of buying these deals, but if for some reason we don't like the location, the market, maybe it's just not where we want to put our focus, maybe it's too small for what we want, then we go ahead and flip that deal to an end buyer who is looking in that market that size. And again, the reason you're able to get bigger fees on these deals is because they're income producing assets. And so that you evaluate those opportunities based on a capitalization rate or a cap rate. Now, a cap rate is going to be a percentage of return if you were to pay cash for the property. So essentially, it's your net operating income divided by the total purchase price of the property. So if you had a property that was producing $60,000 in net operating income, so essentially the income after expenses, so property taxes, maintenance, things like that, it would be your net operating income. So let's say it was $60,000 and you sold it for $1 million, or were trying to sell it for $1 million. That would be 6% cap rate. That'd be a 6% capitalization rate, which means if you were to pay cash on it, you'd be getting a 6% return. Now, a lot of times in today's market, there's not a lot of liquidity out there, at least from my experience. A lot of people are getting debt on these deals, and so that doesn't really work when the debt service is so high right now. It's rather expensive to place debt on a property, but I've seen as low as 6.75%, but as high as like 8%. And so when you're getting an 8% debt service on a deal and your capitalization rate is only 6%, you are not making money at very much money return on your money that you're putting into it, right? And that's why people use leverage and get debt, so they can make more spread than they would if they were to pay cash for the deal. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because what I do And what my company does is we focus on finding those deals off market at an aggressive rate before a broker can get their hands on it, because what brokers are doing is they're taking these assets and they're pricing them and giving these pricing expectations to sellers at, you know, a 5 cap, and they're putting them on the market at a 6 cap, where that just doesn't work for a lot of investors right now. But unfortunately, these brokers are explaining to these sellers that they can get these numbers. And again, I used to be a broker. I'm not hating on brokers. I appreciate what they're brokers, the good brokers out there, because some of them absolutely are doing a very good job. And I'm not saying that they're overinflating pricing or anything, but sometimes they just aren't. Investors aren't seeing good deals from brokers right now because for whatever reason they're putting them on the market at a 5 cap, where if you have the liquidity to do it, maybe, but when you can get a higher return on a CD right now, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So where I come in is I am personally going direct to seller on a lot of these deals. I put it under contract myself, or my company puts it under contract. And let's say for example, the deal I made $100,000 on, we got it under contract at like a 13% cap rate. And so that's an insane return up to an investor. So what I was able to do is assign it at a 10 cap, and that spread made me $100,000. And so that investor was happy because they're getting an amazing return on their investment at 10%, or if they leverage debt, but they paid cash. So they're getting amazing return on their investment, which is above market expectations right now, because a lot of stuff that you're seeing on the market's at a 4 or 5 or 6 cap rate. And so they're extremely happy. And they're willing to pay that spread based on the deal that works for them. And so the fact that I was able to get it for a 13% capitalization rate and make that spread, works out for us. So that's why we were able to make, a bigger fee on that deal. Now, not all deals are like that. Some deals don't have as big of a spread. Some deals have a bigger spread. It just depends. And so that is what I do. And that's how we make cash to then reinvest back into assets that we do want to buy. And so the reason I'm explaining that is because I want to kind of give you a preface of what this 90-day challenge is all about. It's basically me finding more opportunities and more deals and doing exactly what I just said. And I'm trying to see how many deals I can do in the next 90 days. Last time I checked, since we've started, we have 9 LOIs out, letters of intent, out on properties, meaning I found the seller. They said they were interested in selling. I underwrote the deal, and now I sent out a proposal to them, seeing if they would agree to the terms that I sent to them. 2 of them have agreed on the terms that I sent. So now I'm working through contracts, and while I work through contracts, I'm simultaneously finding buyers for those properties, because we aren't personally interested in those properties. Or one of the properties we actually are kind of somewhat interested. So, we might take that down, but the other one we know is we're going to flip the contract. And so we're currently working through that process on our end. And so both of those deals would combine bring in roughly $130,000 to $140,000 in fees, just with those 2 deals in the last 14 days. And so the reason I'm sharing this stuff is because I want to inspire those who are trying to get into the space, or maybe they're trying to build a life for themselves, where if they did 1 deal, they could live on that for an entire year, or 2 deals. And so if I can show you transparently how I'm going about getting my deals, as well as showing you what it takes to find deals, and let's see how much money or deals I can get under contract in the next 90 days. Who knows? I think the last I calculated is because we convert 14%. So if we send an LOI out, 14% of those LOIs turn into a contract, which then gives us a fee. And I think if I did the math right, I'm way behind my goal of 20 deals under contract. I think I'm at like 9. I'm projected to have 9 deals under contract, which I think brought in like $800,000. So I need to ramp up the opportunity. However, if we hit that number, it's a great number for the company, but we need to ramp those numbers up a little bit. And the biggest struggle that I'm having right now is I'm finding some really solid deals, but I'm trying to weed through the buyers who are actually buying these deals and not just kicking some tires and seeing what's going on. I need to build out my buyers list to more qualified, credible, filter that down a little bit rather than blasting it to the masses. Because it seems like there's a lot of people out there right now in the mobile home park space that want to buy a deal that have never bought the deal. And so they're not as quick on the decision-making process. So anyways, that was a 9-minute review of why we're doing this and why I'm doing this to share with you guys, as well as kind of goes along with the title of the video. And then now we're going to go back into cold calling. Again, this is part 2 of the 90-day challenge. My audio went out earlier, so we're back at it, and we're going to continue to dial. So. All right. Okay. Just bought. Oops. That deal doesn't work. They just bought it. 23. And if you're just tuning in, if you go to part 1 of today, I did have a good conversation with the seller. We might have picked up an opportunity. However, it sounds like it's under contract and there's a lot of violations on the park from the county. So essentially, the mobile home parks, the county is, if the county gets involved, they come through, make sure the park is maintained, things like that. Well, it sounds like this seller has kind of given up on the property. She's a lot older. She's 81 years old. Hard for her to manage. And so what's happening is the county's going through and slapping violations on the park based on appearance, infrastructure issues, etc. And so she's really wanting to unload on the property, but it sounds like she has a contract in place and they're going through the due diligence period. So now I'm trying to get a contract in there just in case something happens. So it was actually a really pretty good opportunity for us. It would be a complete value add opportunity, which I think I could flip that contract pretty easily. All right, let's see here. That one's a bad number. Okay, wrong number on that one. No answer. Oh, answer, move to no contact. So I make dials out of my CRM. That's why I really like it, because it works as a dialer and I can keep track of all my notes inside one CRM. Now, if you're just getting started, when I was getting started, I used Zoho CRM. It was free. Again, I have no affiliation with them. I just have used it in the past, and it's better than keeping an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Docs. And the reason being, keeping track of all your leads. And the reason is, you really don't want to. Let's see, 1 second. Sorry. You really don't want to just keep track of, names and numbers. You want to be able to take notes. And so when you call back or set a follow-up time to call, you understand what your previous conversation was, so you can build off that conversation. Where for me, what I like about this CRM specifically that I'm using is it records my phone calls. So then if let's say I take some notes, but I'm kind of, sometimes when I take notes, I'm just scrambling and typing. And if it doesn't make sense, then what I do is I listen to the call and I'm like, oh, okay, now I remember this phone call. So it's pretty nice. And then I can, throw drip campaigns, email campaigns, marketing campaigns, text campaigns, all through this one CRM, which is great. All right, keep going. Dang, the property just sold as well. Property just sold. Okay. Dead lead, move on. Phone number. Okay. No answer, all three. I like that park. That would be a park we would potentially buy. You gotta get in touch with. Trying to see what they want for this.
Please.
Darn it. What do I want a contract for? Remember this guy told me to F off or not. Look like I called him, but you never know. When was the last sale? Okay. Maybe they tried to sell it at one point.
Hello. You're
Yes. Hi. Good morning. Or I guess afternoon. Sorry about that. Is this by chance the owner of the Dubis Mobile Home Park here in North Charleston? Oh, okay. Is there a better time to call back or? Okay. Okay. That sounds great. Are you are you the manager or? Oh, his wife. Oh, okay. Yes, I can definitely try back this afternoon or a little later this evening. I guess I was curious. I know, and as his wife, if you would be potentially open to selling the park at this time, if you had that conversation at all. I guess that's kind of what I was reaching out for. I own a couple of parks in the North and South Carolina markets as well as Florida, and we're actively looking to buy one this year in the kind of the North Charleston market. Hmm. Okay. Understood. Understood. Well, if I can definitely try back later and speak with. Is it Ron? Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, it's a great market, so we'd understand paying a good number for it, and if that's a number where it would make sense for him to sell, then we'd have that conversation. And I definitely will try and give this number a call back a little later this evening and see if maybe there's a price where he would consider. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye bye. Talk to his wife. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and set a follow up. Got in touch. It's a good call. The last number is the number. Let's see, sale. I spell like four wrongs word in that. You're right. Let's see. I'm gonna call him back today at 5 p.m. his time. It would be 4 p.m. my time. Reminder: 5 minutes before. Cool. So that was a good talk. Talked to his wife. She wants him to sell. He's hard headed apparently and just loves to work at the park, even though he's in his 80s and still works. So I'm just trying to see if there would be a number where he would even consider selling, and if so, what that number would be. It's a great park, from what I can tell, and it's a great market, and we would probably want to buy that. Um, I just got to see, get a full picture of what it is and you know, market because it's an out-of-state park. So, okay, boom, on to the next. So a couple of conversations so far. See, if you just make the calls, if you do the work, you get rewarded. Believe it or not, that's how life works. So, just keep making the calls. See what happens. Oh, I got to take this call here and mute this. All right, guys. Sorry about that. That was an important phone call that I had to jump on, and I couldn't publicly talk about that because that's a deal that we're buying for sure, and I don't want that information and have that deal snagged because that's a big deal. It's a big one. So let's see. We're back to it. I don't think we called them yet. Hey, Ron. This is Spencer Davidson, just touching base here. I was reaching out regarding your mobile home park here in Ravenel, South Carolina. I believe it's the Dreco Mobile Home Park. And here I came across yours again. I guess if you might be open to selling, receiving an offer at this time. So if you'd like to give me a call back, if there's any interest on your end, or if you're looking at that avenue or considered that, feel free to give me a call back. My direct line is actually 850-119-2300, 850-319-2300, or you can call me back on my office as well, 850-813-5007. Thank you and have a good day. Bye. Yeah, so try back. First number was his number. No contact made. Just so. Oh wow, that's a far from the city. Wow. does that made it a housing community. Don't know where the park is. Oh, there it is. What? Let's see. No contact made. What in the hell? Okay, that's not a park. It's a Home Depot. Actually, would be a good investment, by the way. clean park. See, that's the tough part. A lot of these people don't have that pressure on the back, or it's like, okay, well, the only thing that you really got going for you is potentially that they're getting old and want to retire, and they don't know the process of selling. And so, let's see. This is a nice park, but we'll see. Hey, Johnny. My name's Spencer Davidson. I was touching base here. Are you by chance the owner of the mobile home park here on Wilmington Highway in Jacksonville? I apologize. Are you by chance the owner of the mobile home park here on Wilmington Highway in Jacksonville? Oh, okay, great. Again, my name is Spencer. I actually own a couple of parks in the Carolina markets as well as Florida. And my partners and I are actively looking to buy a park this year in the Jacksonville market, and was just curious if you would entertain an offer or potentially open to selling, or kind of what your thoughts were. Oh, great. Okay, gotcha. So you're actively looking to buy more? Okay. Not too familiar. I'm still learning kind of that area, but oh wow. Great. Oh, good for you. Good for you. So you got started pretty young then, in the invest. Good. That's great. Okay. I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to. Yeah. I again apologize. I Fortunately I kind of have to go this route and try and reach the sellers directly just to see if there's any interest. Yeah. Right. 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 Yeah. Absolutely. No, I understand, Johnny. And again, I apologize for disturbing you there. That's the last thing I want to do. So I just wasn't sure if there was any interest, or sounds like there isn't. And I'll make sure to not give you a call back. Again, I just was curious, and so we have our offices in Winter Park, which is kind of Orlando, but we have 21 parks across Florida. Oh wow. Oh wow. Right. Oh wow. Wow. Crazy. What if you don't mind me asking, did you have a name of that guy, that gentleman? Oh shoot. No, you don't. Yeah, that's wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm sorry that would happen. Um, but yeah, again, it sounds like there's not really any interest. I mean, I would be interested, obviously if it were someday to come available. Uh, not only one part, but maybe all of them. As we are pretty liquid right now, but okay. Oh wow. Yeah, so land value is up there. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Right. Yep. So how many lots do you have a total for the 5 mobile home parks? How many are there total there? Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wow, good for you. Right. That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. So you're bringing in a lot of good cash flow there. That's great. Well, again, yep. Okay. Well, I appreciate it, Johnny. Again, I'll make sure not to. I'll make a note here not to give you a call back, so I understand you don't want to be bothered. So I'll just make that note. And again, I appreciate you taking the time and being courteous. Thanks, Johnny. Bye bye. Oh, let's see. Okay, just missed a call here. So all right, let's see. Let's sell for 5 million. So you sell off 5 parts for 5 million. That's just a little steep. Million, but all right. It's a powerful thing about real estate. You buy a handful of deals, you hold on to them forever. They cash flow like crazy, and then people are going to want to pay you premium dollar. I mean, I'm sure he bought this stuff for. Let's see if there's any interest. He said he's got into it. He bought this park in 2005 for $200,000, and it's probably worth, not. There's 30 on here. It's probably worth half a million bucks, 600 grand. Um, so tripled his money. All right. So, but he you know has no interest in selling, and really is hammering the DNC list. So I'm gonna try and get off his radar here. But good conversation nonetheless. Okay, I got another call here from somebody. Just missed a call. See, my phones are always going, whether it's this one or my cell phone or whatever. I'm always getting called. Okay, let's see. Nope, that's not the number I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. Oh. This guy's has a mobile home park here, but I'm trying to get an idea where it's at. Okay, let's try this one. 610. Yeah, okay. I've talked to that guy before. Not interested. He wants like $1 million for units, like 6 pads. I'm like, no, dude. And I get it. I mean, the land value is probably worth something, although it's in a flood zone, so I don't know what you're going to put there. Make a couple more calls. We're going to take a break for the morning. Yes, hi, good afternoon. The owner of the mobile home park available by chance? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. All right. All right. All right. Let's see how many calls we made. I don't think it's that many. I've had a couple conversations on my cell phone that lasted a while, but. All right. So we have made. Okay. So we've only made 31 calls this morning, but we connected with 3 people. Talk time was, let's see here. I'm trying to think what our call talk time was. I don't know, talk time was probably like 30 minutes, maybe. So good amount of connects. Again, got some interested people. I mean, I talked to one guy for 20 minutes. Yeah, so that usually was over 30-minute talk time. So that's why less dials. So that means we're connecting with people. And yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and I'll probably hop on later this afternoon while I go live. Not sure. You get an idea of what I do every day. So hopefully you find this video well. Please like, subscribe, share it. Again, I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. I'm just trying to provide as much. I don't like that. Trying to fix it in the camera. Trying to provide as much value as I possibly can into the marketplace when it comes to wholesaling. Maybe open your eyes up to a new way of making money outside of a regular 9 to 5. Even though I do work this, 9 to 6 or 7 to 6 or whatever it is, I actually work more hours doing this than I would if I had a regular job. But again, if you do 1 deal a year, you might not have to work the rest of the year, or 2 deals, right? And so, again, I hope this video finds you well, and wish you guys the best. Like, subscribe, and I will be on tomorrow for sure, maybe later again this afternoon. Peace out.